In 1960, a mother woke up at midnight to her phone ringing. She hesitantly walked down the stairs and answered it, but there was only silence on the other end. And then after a few seconds, she heard a click in the dial tone. She was creeped out, but figured it was probably nothing and decided to go back to bed. But just an hour later, she awoke once again to the sound of someone in her house. The only phone in the house was downstairs, but unfortunately that seemed to be where the noises were coming from. Figuring that she had no other options, she turned the lights on and started to creep down the stairs, hoping to get to the phone and call the police. But before she could make it to the first floor, the light suddenly went out and the noise seemed to stop. She bolted straight to the phone and picked up the receiver, just to realize that the phone line had been cut. And then a couple of seconds later, she noticed a silhouette of a short man standing in her living room. Before she could react, he ran at her, immediately threatening her and demanding money. He appeared to be wearing a leathery mask, an old musty overcoat, and nail-studded bracelets, which made the woman believe that his intentions were much worse than a simple robbery. She tried her absolute best to push and shove him away, but this only made the intruder fight back harder. But in the midst of the struggle, they heard another set of footsteps coming down the stairs and briefly paused. Once the intruder realized it was the mother's 14-year-old daughter, he threw the mother to the side and chased the daughter back up the stairs. The mother, realizing that now was her only chance to escape, sprinted out the front door into her neighbor's house for help. When they returned, they found the daughter had been assaulted but was fortunately still alive. However, the intruder appeared to be long gone. Once the police arrived, they told the mother that she had been attacked by what the locals called the Beast of Jersey. He continued his attacks all the way up until 1970 when two patrolling officers caught a man running a red light. After a brief car chase, the officers found his full mask and costume and became highly suspicious. They searched his house and found plans for future victims, a shrine dedicated to the devil, and a small library based on dark magic. Edward Paynell was ultimately sentenced to 30 years but got out after 20 for good behavior.